Hey y'all, today Nathaniel, Isaac, and James, you can't see James, he's behind there. We're gonna time a Magneto. Nathaniel, tell me what this thing is.
This is a Slick 4300. It is a left-hand drive Magneto.
Sweet. Alright, today to time your Magneto, you're gonna need a flathead screwdriver, an E-gap tool, and a timing pin.
You're also going to need a timing light and a stand to put your Magneto in while you're working on it. So step one, take off the 4 screws on the top to remove this top cap, basically. And then be careful because there's going to be a lead that goes from the capacitor to the contact point assembly. And just make sure you remove that. Don't break it. Next, you're going to want to remove the distributor housing. There's a screw on each side that you're going to have to loosen to remove that. Alright, that just lifts out. And then, the last thing you're going to want to do before you time it is take off the rotor gear. That comes off really easily. If it doesn't, you can just pop it off with your screwdriver.
Also, make sure you don't lose these 2 spacers.
Yep.
For the distributor.
Right there. After that, you're ready to time your Magneto.
Alright, so now we're ready to time the Magneto. First thing we're going to do is we're going to set it to E-gap. We're going to take our E-gap tool and we're going to stick it in a slot on the rotor. And there's a picture of what that slot looks like on screen. And so I'm just going to slide the finger on here. Maybe. Okay, finally. Alright, now that you have it in there, you can turn it to the side till it's stopped, and that way we have it at E-gap. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the next step. So our next step is we're going to hook up the leads of our timing light to the Magneto. So you're going to stick one of the leads here, and the other 2 leads are going to go on the case, which is the ground. And so then what you're going to do is you're going to turn on your light, and you're going to loosen this screw here and adjust it as necessary until the points are just opening, which is right there. Now you can remove your leads and the E-gap tool.
The next step is to reassemble the Magneto.
Alright, so the next step is going to take your rotor gear and we're going to put it back on your Magneto. And since this is a left-hand rotating Magneto, you're going to make sure the L is pointed towards your coil when you put it back on the cam. If this was a right-hand rotating Magneto, we would have the R facing towards the coil, but this is left-hand, so we're pointing it towards the coil.
Alright, so next you're going to reassemble your distributor assembly and put the cap back on the Magneto. First what you're going to want to do is take your distributor gear and put it back into your distributor cap. So it just slides in there like that. Next you're going to want to make sure that the tooth is lined up correctly so as to connect with the rotor gear in the right spot. So find the L on the distributor gear and line it up with the L hole on the distributor cap. So right there. And then put your timing pin through so as to hold it in place. Just like that. Right. Next, you're going to want to put your distributor block back onto your distributor assembly, making sure to keep your gear timing pin in place. Put it back together, and then you're ready to put it back into the Magneto. Don't forget to put your spacers in before screwing it on. Finally, you're going to want to put the cap back onto the magneto, and don't forget to connect the capacitor lead to the contact point assembly right there. And get your finger out of the way. And then screw back in all 4 screws to hold the cap on. And that's how you internally time your Slick 4300 Magneto.
Yay.
So the next thing you're going to want to do is make sure your engine is ready to receive the spark. So in order to do that, you're going to remove the spark plug from cylinder number 1 and then find compression stroke on that cylinder. You can do this by putting your finger over the spark plug hole and then turning the engine until you feel compression. So now we're on compression stroke for cylinder 1. So the next thing you're going to want to do is make sure that your cylinder is 26 degrees before top dead center. The way to do that is to look at the markings on the crankshaft flange and line up 26 degrees with the center line of the engine. Yep, so right about there.
Now you're ready to install your magneto.
Yay.
Alright, now we're ready to install the magneto. So, we're going to put it on here. Make sure the timing pin doesn't fall out. Now that the magneto is installed, we remove the timing pin, hopefully, and you're ready to time it to the engine.
Now we're going to fine-tune the magneto timing by attaching your ground and the extra lead to the engine. That serves as a ground. And you're going to put your red lead onto the P lead of the magneto right there. You're going to turn the timing light on, and you're going to rotate this just until you hear the sound, like as it starts to make the sound. So right there.
Alright, so now that we have fine-tuned our magneto to the engine, we're going to turn the propeller back to test our magneto to engine timing. And then we're going to bump it forward by tapping the propeller until we start hearing the noise again. Okay? Now that we've got noise, we're going to check and see that we're at 26 degrees. And it looks like we're right there. That's it. You're done.